Okay folks, as usual I'm a couple of minutes late, but I'm here. It's Thursday. We finished, that's backwards, that's not supposed to be backwards, but we finished our Sisters of Battle Canoness last week, which means it's a brand new project which we are starting on. Let me just get that switch around the right way because I have no idea why that's wrong, but it's Inquisitor Eisehorn, which is the new project for the next few weeks. We'll see how long it takes for us to get through Eisehorn. I'm really looking forward to this guy. There we go, he's the right way now. I'm looking forward to getting this guy done, so I hope you join me as we go through this every Thursday night. And don't forget, as always, I would like to give a quick shout out to my third tier and above Patreons, Tim, Reese and Wayne. Without you, these shows couldn't happen, and they certainly wouldn't without you guys. Nuts Paints, Chris, thank you very much for joining me tonight on this Valentine's Day show. So I'm not expecting a crazy turnout because I'm sure a lot of people are off out as usual. I know Wayne is out doing his usual stuff. So there we are. Don't forget, as always, with the Thursday night project, these are, you know, people help me choose what I'm going to be doing. So don't forget, if you want to see me do a specific project on a Thursday night, don't forget to let me know. Send me your opinions, and Patreons also get to help me kind of finalize the decision. So don't forget about that. You find all of the links in the description below as usual, and you can use the chat there. You can use the chat. Actually, no, it's on that side if you're watching on a tablet, isn't it? If you're on small screen, it's on that side on a computer. But anyway, you can find the links in the chat. If you use the chat, use the keywords, and you can find various links and so on. And yeah, the chat is lots of fun things to find in the chat. Wayne's with us in the car park playing Taxi. Well, thank you very much for joining me in the car park, using up all your data. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. So as usual, this is the first part of the project, which is always a case of having a look at the mini and building it. So we'll get on with that. And it's the last Friday of the month tomorrow, isn't it? If I have a look, which means that I will be planning on getting my Ask Me Anything my Ask Me Anything video and update video filmed during the week. Any last minute questions you might have for me before I start filming that, you better get them in nice and quickly. You can find the Ask Me Anything from last month already on the channel, and we'll get on with that. And I think that pretty much rounds out my announcements, I think. Yeah, so we're going to get cracking on with the show, shall we? I have my cup of coffee with me because I've been running around like an absolute maniac today, getting all sorts of things done. And as always, as we start the show, I will open up the Patreon live chat as well. So if any of the Patreons want to join in to the show, they can do so now. Yeah, it's the penultimate Friday tomorrow, and the last Friday is next week, which means this week I need to get my my Ask Me Anything filmed at some point. But let's get cracking on with the show as it is today with Eisehorn. So it's a brand new model. I haven't opened him up. Well, I have opened him up to have a look. So we will open this up again and have a look to see what we have inside here. It's the Eisehorn from the Black Library celebration of last year, which is nice. I did want to get cracking on this guy. As soon as I saw him, I thought, yeah, I like this model. He looks awesome, and so I'm really looking forward to getting this guy painted up. Obviously, when you come back next week, we'll build him today. We'll look at him, we'll clean him up, and we'll build him, and then I will prime him during the week. There's quite a few bits to this guy, so we need to have a look, see if we can get this built, or whether I need to do some sub-assemblies. So we'll have a look at that during the show, of course. And there we are, fine cast model, unfortunately, but it's we'll have a look at the the way it feels. It feels nice. It doesn't feel too slick, so I don't think we need to worry about any mold release. We might do. What I could do is I could glue it together. If it falls apart, then I'll throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner and clean it up a bit. But if it glues together all right, I might just throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner built. But we'll see how it looks. But look at that side. That is a tiny, tiny head. That is tiny. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okie dokie. So we'll have a look at that. 3 sprues here. It looks to be in decent condition. There's plenty of flash on here that needs to be removed. But it doesn't look like anything is miscast, which is nice. All looks to be reasonably well done, considering this is quite a new model as well. Perhaps I think people were saying that fine cast actually in the new models are actually pretty decent. The Inquisitor version of him 20 years ago was amazing. I didn't know there was one. But I'm hoping, well, a lot of people have been saying that fine cast actually is a bit better than the older stuff. So this should be a reasonably decent model. But we'll have a look as we build him. So, bring back the instructions. Number 1 is the cloak and the staff on his back. So, that's these 2 bits. So that's easy enough. So we'll clip these off, much like any other model. And I need to make sure there's all of these spiky bits go to a part of the staff, so I need to make sure that I don't cut into the staff, so I'm giving it plenty of extra resin, and I'll clip off the rest with a knife. Last thing I want to do is start ruining the model before I even start. So as you can see, I've left plenty of resin left on here, which I can come in with my hobby knife to cut off. He's about 70mm tall. Fine cast equals fail cast. Yeah, I mean, it's not brilliant, but I think the old fine cast, you know, the older the model, the worse it is. It's what a lot of people say. But I mean, there's not huge amounts of warp. I mean, there's a slight wobble in this, but you can see on the camera it's not too bad. Just go along and making sure that everything we clip off is meant to be clipped off. Got plenty of space to use. Clippers now that it's not on the sprue. There we are. Righty-ho. Now we just go along and clean off the final little bits of sprue that were left on this guy. And once we do that, I can go around cleaning off any mold lines. Using a knife that's not too good actually. I keep catching this and undoing that, so my knife keeps coming loose in my hand. Right. get these mold lines together. I've actually I've got a little thing that actually we might have a look at later on. This is something I've created. It's nothing that's nothing new. It's been in the hobby for a long time. I've picked up myself an extra bottle of Tamaya extra thin hobby cement plastic glue, and I poured some of it away and then filled it full of old bits of sprue, and I've created what the hobbyists like to call sprue goo. And so if it comes down to it later on, this stuff is fantastic for filling gaps. Obviously it works better if you're using it on a plastic model, because obviously you can it melts part of the models that you're putting together. I imagine it probably do just as well filling any gaps in resin as well. We'll have a look to see how this guy goes together. If he's got any gaps, we might actually be able to use it. Wayne's sharing the Discord link around. We have two lots of Discord available. We do have the public base of operations Discord where anybody can come along, have a chat, throw some pictures around, and just generally get involved with everybody who's a fan of the channel and a fan of sharing everybody else's work, and just generally enjoying painting. And we also have a Discord for Patreons as well. Now I'm going to really spend, I'll tell you what I want to do is I really want to spend time making sure that this model is better than the last one. As always, the Thursday night shows is where I get to try and practice new things. I get to really flex my skills. But I think what's also important is I want the next model to always be better than the one before it. Always improve. I would fall short of saying I strive for perfection. I don't strive for perfection because it's unobtainable, but I always want to improve, be better than the last one. Lose the feed when you click the link using your phone. Well, don't worry about it, Chris. If you're losing the feed, the Discord link is also in the description. So at the end of the stream, you can always click on the link in the description. It'll take you straight to the Discord server after the show if you want. Right, this is where I start slicing my fingers open, cutting off the extra bits of sprue. And try and find your tablet. Fair enough. We had a couple new keywords added to the chat as well after the stream last night. You try the keyword Will Says, try the keyword Tip of the Day, and I also added a keyword called Roads. So you can try those at your leisure if you want, just for a bit of a giggle. The knife looks sharp. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you don't want to miss any of this. Way, there we go, like that. Oh, yeah. The risk of seeing some Valentine Day gore is fairly high tonight, because I am really trying my best to get every single mold line off of this model, and I really want this thing to look as amazing as it can be when I'm finished. Welcome, Mark, welcome to the show. If you want to find out what the keywords for all of the fun little bits and pieces we've added to the chat, just use the keyword fun, and it'll give you a short list of all of the keywords that you'll get a response from. And I have noticed here, this is something I didn't notice, the resin is so thin here. Where we're going, we don't need roads. I didn't think of that one. It was just something that somebody had mentioned. Can't remember who it was. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's bring this up here. And look at that. There we go. You know what? I've never actually read his lore. I have absolutely no idea. I saw the model and thought that looked fantastic, but the trouble is, look at that. That is resin that has gone so thin that it's basically see-through. Look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my knife in there, clean that out, and that gives me the perfect opportunity to bring this down here and use the sprue goo. Now, of course, this is going to take a while to dry. It is plastic glue. It'll probably take about half an hour to dry or so, but what I should be able to do, it's really sticky. I haven't actually used this before. It was just something that, you know, I'd seen knocking around a few times and people were talking about it. It absolutely reeks of acetone, but I want to see if I can get that in here. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can scrape that off. It's absolutely covered the brush. Look at this. That's what it is. It's just melted down sprue. Absolutely covered in plastic. Really sticky stuff. But yeah, long-time hobbyists will say that this stuff works better than liquid green stuff. So I can fully believe it. I mean, this is it's a really sticky kind of substance. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to fill a plastic model, as soon as this sort of stuff comes in contact with other plastic, it will start to melt and actually weld the joint together. But I'm hoping that what I'll be able to do here, I might have made this a bit too thick. It might be why I'm having trouble with it. Which all I need to do is just add a bit more Tamiya liquid cement, and then that will of course melt the plastic a bit more than what's in there. It doesn't seem to want to go in there. It doesn't want to stick. Now, obviously, like I said, I'm trying to use this on resin, which, you know, is not plastic, so it's not going to stick so well. But I'm hoping that I can use it. Failing that, I'll just come and get the old liquid green stuff. I just thought, you know, I'd done it and I'd give it a try. Let's see if I can get this stuff to work. Fill that in there, which is very stringy. I think I do need to add a bit more plastic glue to this, but for now, there we go. Just going to leave that there. So you can see that looks a bit of a mess, but we should, once that dries, that will dry. It's basically plastic, and then I'll be able to come in with the hobby knife and sand and scratch that away, just like you can do with a piece of sprue, theoretically. I think I will thin that down. I think I've used a bit too much sprue in the glue, so we'll just thin that down. It's a little bit of a playing around. His first book you have in Legends, it's called Xenos. Yes, I do have it. Yeah, I just haven't read it. Paint it as a bullet hole. The trouble is it's in cloth, and so it wouldn't really be much to paint. It would just be a hole in his top, and it just gives me an opportunity to try that thing. That's why I'm messing around filling the hole. It's very, very thin resin, which, you know, it happens, but that's why I do it. Book number 69. Is that the one? Is that? Yeah, all the way over there. Yeah, I think he's got a couple of other novels up there as well, isn't he? There we go. You see that? There we go. That's the bit that I was playing around to begin with. It's turned into a. It's kind of turned into a really squishy ball now. The outside is dried already. It's dried into plastic, and then it's liquid on the inside. Generally, so like really gummy stuff. It's like chewing gum. It's like really sticky until you turn it into a ball, and you can roll it. But then if you squeeze it, it gets sticky again. It's really funny stuff. I'm not sure what it's going to do to my fingers. You know, I've just got acetone and plastic stuck to my fingers. But that should just dry off into plastic, and I'll be able to just scrape it off. So there we are. Alright, so we've done that anyway. Done messing around with that. Just want to carry on cleaning off the tiny amounts of flashing that we've got on this model. Like I said, I really wanted to spend the time making this thing as absolutely as good as I could possibly make it. Yeah, the Canoness came out quite nicely. Let's see if we can get this Inquisitor to come out even better. We've read all 3 books. What? No, I don't know what the books are called, to be honest. I'm not a massive fluff person. Just generally, I haven't had the time to read the fluff, and of course, I am starting much later than most would. I'm sure many of you in the hobby will have stories about reading books or learning things in your youths. Got another problem here, is he seems to have some, not bubbles per se, but scratches in the shoulder pad up here. Now I do want to get rid of the plastic has kind of come across onto that. I don't want to move that. There we go. alright, Mark, no worries, I'll catch you later. Stay Small World, thank you for joining us. Welcome. So I'm just going to marry these two up and see how they fit on here in terms of that hole on the in the top. That's going to fit there nicely. It is covering up the hole at the back there, so actually the hole that I've just filled in is actually not that big of a deal. But what I should be able to do is, this should be dry enough where I might be able to cut that. Like that, there we go. Scrape it along there a little bit, and then we don't need to worry about the inside really just yet. Certainly doesn't want to stick in there. It doesn't look like that's really working very well, unfortunately. I think trying this new plastic goo was always going to be a bit of an experiment, especially with resin model. I didn't really expect it to work, considering it's not really melting the resin away at all. So we might have to try the old plastic green stuff, and I've just noticed that's even thinner as it comes along here as well. This hole's just getting bigger. You could always find that it's actually the plastic cement is melting the resin. I don't know. Yeah, that is getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so let's see if I can find me liquid green stuff that generally isn't very green. It looks like it's solid, liquid, it's solid in there. Not very liquid at all. More like clay, which isn't ideal, I'm sure. Cheddar Monkey, thank you for joining me. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be able to hold liquid green stuff like that. Pretty sure it's supposed to be more liquid. I'll put it on the model anyway. Oops, it just all falls off again. A little bit of water will help with that, I'm sure. We'll just dampen the tool a little bit. I just need to tease this around a bit. I really want to get this hole filled because I really want a hole in his cloak. And just when I think I've done it, I end up poking it one too many times. It all comes apart again. Liquidating the liquid green stuff. Yeah, I think, to be fair, my liquid green stuff isn't very liquid. Let's see if I can get a light to look at that. It's not very liquid. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a bit more fluid than that. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. It's the first pot of liquid green stuff I've ever bought. So in all honesty, I don't think it's supposed to be that solid, and I might be finding it harder than it needs to be. But I know that adding a little bit of water to it helps. You know, you can thin it down a bit and use it a bit easier. Your green stuff is chunky too. Is it that chunky? Is it supposed to be like that? In my opinion, if they're supposed to be that chunky, it's not really liquid green stuff. It's just pre-mixed green stuff in a tub. So if it's supposed to be that thick and goopy, it's not really. Ah, there we go. See, I've just pulled the hole back out again. I keep plugging it and then I hit it one too many times, or I pull my finger away and it comes out. This is really frustrating. There we are. I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave it there and then leave that to dry and then scrape away whatever's left. See if that helps. I have seriously never heard of it turning into a paste though. No, I mean that's pretty much what it is. You got your pot second hand with a bunch of paints. It's always been like that. Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird though, because I mean, if that's what liquid green stuff is supposed to be like, that's just like green stuff that's already mixed. I don't see why that would be called liquid green stuff, considering it's not particularly liquid. I don't know. Right, but I'm going to leave that to one side for now. I'm going to see if I can scrape the green stuff that I have put there, and hopefully I can fill that hole once and for all. Just cut this out of here. This is the body. This is one of the parts that might end up being a sub-assembly. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. That cloak definitely goes over this one, but we'll see what it looks like in terms of access with brushes in a short while. Seeing how I feel about leaving them separate or gluing them together. Tend to use brush on varnish to smooth out small faults before prime spraying. Yeah, that's a good idea. From what I remember, it should almost be like a thick sort of paint. I mean, my liquid green stuff is thicker than dry paint, so I have a feeling it's not quite right. I nearly cut through the webcam cable. That'll help. That'll be helpful. No, I think there's something wrong with my liquid green stuff. That's why I don't tend not to use it. And to be honest with you, if I've got if I've got some sprue goo now, I'll practice using that on some plastic models and see how that works. I think obviously it wouldn't work on resin because it doesn't melt the resin. Eisehorn is more cloak than man now. Yeah, there's an awful lot of cloak on this guy. Yeah, my green stuff is, I do think it's a bit too thick. I would consider putting some water in it, but I don't know if that'll fix the problem or not. Could put some drops of distilled water in there. That would possibly thin it out a bit. Don't know how that would react. Maybe I'll get on the internet and have a look, see what other people have done. GW likes it to be thick. Alright. Just trying to figure out here what's model and what's gates and flashing. And also at the same time also trying not to chop my fingers off live on the internet. Although to be sure, I reckon if I did manage to do that, my viewers would go up. Certainly on this video. I think milliput is the best for big gaps and smooth roller with water and a brush. I would probably agree with you there. Again, I do have some milliput tucked away in a corner somewhere. Although to be fair, the amount of milliput I'd make up just to fill that tiny hole on that would hardly seem worth it. Yeah, it dries out faster, so you have to buy more. Yeah. Oh, some more down here. There's lots of tiny little bridges between different parts of this model. Pretty much what I'm cutting off at the minute, just going around making sure, really taking the time, like I keep saying, taking the time, making it the best I can. The Canon S came out quite nicely, but I'm sure I could do better. These two slots together like so. Oh, the size of that gap down there. Slide my knife in that. Wow, that's... Or if I move it that way. And down there, look at that. Jesus. That's some serious gap going on there. Lemon coloured lamenting lamenters, lamented lemming, lamented. What on earth? Right. I reckon that can. I reckon we'll probably be able to, when I glue that guy together, that will probably, the super glue will hide some of the sins on that one. Wait for the super glue to dry and then scrape it down a little bit. I do want to clear off some more of this though. A bit of a bridge between, there we go, the handle of his blade in his chest. There we are, that's much better. I can see daylight in that hole again. Yeah, that's just peeling straight back out again. Right. There's a big hole in there. Super glue and baking soda for this one. It might have to be. Means I'll have to go and try and find the baking soda. Yeah. Right. So another technique I've never actually tried yet. I know of it, but I've never tried it yet. But I think I might, if I nip to the kitchen, 2 minutes to go and grab the baking soda, and I'll give it a try. Even Eisehorn's model is troublesome, yeah. I'll tell you what, give me 2 seconds and I will go and find the baking soda. Coming back. Now, so anybody who knows this, I got these from the cupboard. Are they the same thing? Or do I need to use one or the other? Because I don't know if, I don't actually know what it is exactly. The whole thing does. So, does anybody have any advice for me? Don't buy failcast. Yeah, that's definitely rules to live by. So do you think, but it's been ages since you used it. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's have a look. Let's see if this works. I've never done this before. So, but what I do believe is I can add some super glue. Now I use super glue gel, so hopefully this isn't going to cause a problem as well. But yeah. So I'm going to fill that with super glue, and then hopefully I grab the bicarb of soda. Hopefully this is still in usable condition. There we are. Let me grab the old Citadel spatula thing, and then I will. Well, that didn't work. I missed. There we are. It's definitely solid advice. It's worse to live by. But they're very nice models. You know, some of them are very nice, and I've been wanting to paint this guy for so long as well. Since I saw it, I thought that's a really nice looking model. Alright, so I'm hoping that that's now, because apparently this will set super glue instantly, right? Although that still feels pretty soggy to me. Have I managed to do this bit wrong as well? And that's pretty solid. Yeah, it seems to be working alright. I think I just used too much super glue. It only feels stodgy, but I might have got it. Welcome back, Wayne. Gel takes longer to set. Ah, yes. Yeah. Right. Well, certainly it feels like it's going now. It feels like they might have got it. Let's have a look. See, this is what I keep saying though. This is what Thursdays are all about. It's about me trying things I've never done before, and learning as we go. Hello, Wayne. Welcome to the show again.
Yeah.
We're just trying this new technique of filling a gap with super glue and baking. What did I use? Bicarbonate of soda.
Ooh.
I think we might be doing a bit of both. He'll certainly be tasty when he's finished. Boom boom. Yeah. So it certainly feels like I might have got some of it. You what, sorry? I am reasonably close.
Yeah, it's alright. Don't worry about it. This makes distance. So that's good. No, I am now actually just trying to work out a way really like, but it doesn't quite do it. That's all good.
What I need to figure out is how to make you a little bit louder on the stream as well.
You're not hearing it very well then?
Well, I did. I listened back to the show the other night, and the Discord chat is seems to be a lot quieter than me. Admittedly, I'm pretty much sat on top of my microphone in both senses, both microphones, but yeah, it's very quiet. But I seem to have cracked this hole anyway. It might.
It's just interesting to see how the just about here in the 20-second line of YouTube.
Yeah. Water set super glue. Yeah, I heard water set super glue as well, but it's just trying to figure out the right combination for the right job. I think that's the bigger. And yes, more louder, please. Yeah, I would love to. Honestly, I would love to get the Discord louder, but I'm genuinely not sure. What I could try and do actually is I don't know if I'm loud on YouTube. What I could do is lower the voice, which I'm doing now. Lower the microphone on my microphone that I'm using on YouTube, and then hopefully you guys will then turn up YouTube so that you can hear me better, and it might help you hear Wayne better because you've turned everything up. What do you think, Wayne? Hopefully that sounds right. But it's all these wonders of modern technology. Too far. If I turn myself down too low, how about something along the lines of that? Is that all right? It's all lots of tweaking and changing it. Hopefully that'll be a bit better. Now, one of the things I do have to worry about now is I've managed to get some of the baking powder in between the buttons on his top, so I'm just trying to reintroduce the texture of the model here. I'm talking. I don't know if Wayne can still hear me. I don't know. Is Wayne still on the Discord chat? He seems to have disappeared.
Sorry about that, mate. I don't think
Ah, there he is. Welcome back.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
So what I've well, what I've done, yeah, well, what I've done is I've lowered my microphone, but people say they can't hear you.
Okay, well, I've just raised the volume because at the moment I'm using that speaker I spoke to you about yesterday. It's going to be better than the speaker microphone on my tablet.
Yeah.
To talk to you. I've just personally raised the volume on that to see if that makes any difference. So that YouTubers will have to let me know if that's any higher or not.
The other alternative thing is I can raise your volume up to 150%.
Yeah, which is what you did yesterday, weren't it, when you tried it?
I did that for Tim. So yeah, I mean, well, and just as I raise the volume, he sneezes into his microphone. All right. Well, I think of all things, I think I've cracked the hole. So that's
What, you filled it up with the old
super glue and bicarbonate of soda. I think I should have used liquid super glue. That probably would have helped better. But
well, I have to admit, when you said about the hole, I watched on my mobile phone the car and I couldn't really see it. So where is it? I can't really tell.
all right. So let me bring up my camera. Once it's there, and bring that up here, and then there we go.
I'm waiting for the delay on YouTube.
Yeah, there we go. So that is.
Bicarbonate in the picture, so that's the part behind it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm watching it as well, so I can see when you see
Here
it.
we go. Here we go.
So that is the hole. And I think I've done that. I think I've just managed to reintroduce the
That's the hole on that, sort of like underneath his arm.
picture, yeah. So that's hopefully I've managed to.
You can then cover that with. That's actually pretty good.
So yeah.
Another minus point for failed casting.
Yeah, it is fail casting if you can avoid it. You know, do so at all costs. But it's a nice looking mini. Now, obviously, I did, like I pointed out earlier, I do have this issue going on with the cape coming around the side of the body. I've got a little bit of wiggle in there, so I'm hoping that by the time I fill that with super glue, we'll be able to, we won't really see that. That was a bad hole. It was a really big hole, and it's
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really get an judge how big it was. Because I was watching on my mobile phone in the car. I was waiting for my stepdaughter, so I really couldn't get a judge scale at how big it was. I could just see roughly where it was, but now seeing it in there, then that's just. Yeah, Foulcast just needs to be shot.
it was a big hole.
Then it doesn't happen anymore. Go back to metal. Raw metal, boys. Raw metal.
If I got any more green stuff, I could patch it. Oh, you mean add a better? You mean use some green stuff over the texture of the? Yeah, that was a good idea actually, because of course the green stuff is more like green paste. It's like Play-Doh. It's really solid. So yeah, but I could, if I grab some of this, I'm literally scraping it out of the pot, and it's like air drying clay. It's ridiculous.
See, I've never seen this stuff, so this is all new to me. This.
What, ditto. I don't. This is new to me too. I haven't done this before. But like I said, you know, the Thursday's all about me doing stuff I don't do before, doing new stuff, getting my skills up. You know, I don't usually get a chance to you know, experiment with things. So
Yeah.
so this is what it's all about. So hopefully, yeah, if I add a little bit of water to the green stuff and hopefully turn it into more of a green paste.
Yeah, because my experience of doing the green stuff was the old-fashioned stuff when workshop first started doing it in the mid-late 90s. The old blue and yellow sticky stuff. Cut a bit off, mould it up, mix it up, there you go, chocolate.
Yeah.
Still got the original one as well, right.
Yeah,
people struggling to hear me.
People are struggling to hear you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
On my device on this end, see what happens. How's that, Chris?
I've turned you up my end as well.
I've now maxed out the volume on my device on this end. Whether that's making a difference or not, you see?
Well, I maxed you out on my end as well, so.
Yeah, because you don't come out loud, that's because I've raised it up anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the new things that I've been trying recently. So obviously there are going to be some teething problems, but hopefully give us some time. And if anybody knows how to do like Discord chat, feel free to lend me your expertise.
We'll Mark for that, don't we?
Yeah, Mark knows what he's doing.
He's the man.
Alright, so I'm just going to spread this green stuff around a little bit. Might just do a little bit of extra fiddling around. I think I'm done fiddling around with that though. We have got the rest of the model to do for the rest of the show. It's already 25 to 8, so let's get some feet on this model. I have a feeling I have been marrying the two up. I do think that I'm going to leave this back cloak as a sub-assembly, so we should be able to get his main body and feet attached to the base, but this cloak at the back is probably going to stay separate, or at least until I've done the inside of this cloak and the outside of this cloak here. Not much help with Discord, only used it once for our last D&D game. Yeah, it's brand new to me as well, so I'm still learning some of the ropes. I've managed to managed to sort out some of it. So, okie dokie. So we've got his feet. That's on that side. So this one goes in here.
Reese is on the YouTube chat, mate.
Welcome, Reese. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, Chris is here as well. Everybody's here.
Everyone's here, yeah. I'm not doing too bad, Reese. How are you doing? Did anybody answer about how the volume is now that we're both of us have turned up? Turned you up?
I don't think anybody has, but if anybody can, let us know, that'd be great.
Of course, I can't actually hear the YouTube feed at my end.
Yeah, well, I can just, but I'm trying to ignore it because obviously the lag.
Yeah. Reese is going to get some painting done. You're going to check out your challenge of getting all 9 guys done.
Yeah, come on, Reese. Let's get some tricks on some painting.
How long did you give yourself to do that, Reese?
Must have been how level of detail she's going to go into as well.
Oh, yeah.
Everything will be edge highlighted.
Chris said he can just about hear you, so we'll definitely use Mark's expertise to get the most out of it. But we've.
Good luck, Reese. Yeah, you're right now. Leave Mark's skills. Sort this bad boy out. Otherwise, I'll be trying to listen to a 10 iron now at the railway station.
Yeah.
A month.
1 month to get. 1 month to get all 9 guys painted. It means she'll be doing it to the best of her ability.
Yeah, she's going to make them look all like houses or something like that.
Edge highlighted up to the eyeballs.
Yeah, they'll be look great to look against and play against.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
Although in my case, I work very briefly. That's because Reese is a very, very good player.
Dazzled by her painting. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we know it.
When models look that good, you just can't help concentrate on the game.
Hang on, Reese, is that 1 month for the whole unit or 1 month per model? I'm sure it's a month for the whole unit. She's going to slap me next time she sees me.
Yep.
Oh well. I'll have that punishment coming. I'll run that book, Chris, if you like. I don't mind. Or if you want to run the book, I'll put money in it. We're only talking race. You know, you sort of max out every minute you've got, regardless of what rank they are. I think I have to do a deal with Reese. I think I'll have to pay her troops choice to survive. She'd probably pick all my characters, problem solved.
Yeah.
Although, obviously, you've got to spot the quality of paint and change between units because of the memory.
Well, I would say, you know what I say.
Oh, here we go, yeah. Yeah, I know what's coming. I like that one. Well, what I'll do is, I'll just put in this one too.
Right, just going to try and slot this foot in here. I think I did the foot the wrong way around. I did the wrong foot first. I'm going to try and slide this one in the right place. I've got some tweezers around here somewhere. I know there is some somewhere. There we go.
Should be better.
Let's get that pressed into there. I hear if you edge highlight, specular highlight and shading and contrast all on one model, the heavy metal guys will be summoned.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, we should be doing that for heavy metal.
Fantastic, isn't she?
Yeah.
I do like those edge highlighting.
Makes the rest of us being more pal in comparison. So there's hers, there's yours, and then the games that we use, it's like, oh my god. Because Granger's just good as well.
Oh yeah.
Even made his knits are just insane. He's got the patience to sit there and do all that lot with tons and units. It's nuts.
I think James, his models were the first ones I ever saw, And if anybody wants to know who we're talking about, is
Oh, sorry, yeah, we're talking
High
about-
Fleet Horror on Instagram.
Yes.
His jump pack exhausts are infamous.
Yes, they are very. Like, yeah, somebody goes to our game that me, Will, Reese, and self-use every fortnight in Ipswich, and he's a brilliant guy to play against anyway. He wants to laugh at him, but he's managed to just. He's got a Tyranid army, a Gene Stealer army, and a Gene Stealer hybrid army, and all sorts of variations and all sorts of things. And they're all just insanely good. He's got whatever you can think of for the army, he's got techniques paint. Be it little bugs, big bugs, whatever you want, he's got it, and it's just insanely good. Also, he does. I don't think he has a regular scheduled live feed, but I know he does do Joseph Clayton on Instagram at various times.
Yeah.
So just follow him and you'll find out when he does it, because he's stuck with the great.
Right, I think I'm going to call the that back done, so I'm going to pop on the little thing now.
That looks good. Leave with the lad.
Yeah, I'm going to pop that on there now. Is that going to get caught in there? Nope.
What's
What
the
a-
pen wheel you can on the screen? I can see.
The Perfect Pen Super Glue.
Oh, it's a super good. I can see the
Yes.
label on it. Down.
It's Loctite gel.
That's well.
I prefer using this. I don't like using. I certainly don't like using liquid super glue. It goes everywhere. But
No, I
it's
agree with that. I mean, I went to using the old Kane's Workshop when they did a gel super glue,
yeah.
which is a lot more controllable. And because it was slightly thicker, it took a lot slightly longer to go off.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it takes a little while.
So yeah, it's but no. So I mean, I'm just using cheap old stuff from the local sort of hardware store. That's use it a few times and it clogs nozzle up and job done. Thank you very much. But for 99p a time,
Yeah, you can't complain about that, can you?
I'm assuming that's quite expensive though.
$3.99 for a tube.
Does it clog up?
Oh no, no. I mean, I do have to scrape the nozzle every so often, just to get rid of any that is, every time I put the lid back on, it'll squeeze just a touch of glue down the nozzle. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. So let's have a gander at this. Right, so this is telling me to put this bit and this bit together, but I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is find somewhere. I have got some blue tack somewhere. Studio's in a complete upheaval at the minute, so I have absolutely no idea where anything is. I'll take a bit off the back of a poster.
So Sam in the chat that Gorilla Super Glue gel glue.
Gorilla Glue, yes. Reese uses Gorilla Glue.
Steve was saying it's a gel. Is that any good?
I've never used it. I found my pen, and I've got I like the way that I hold it. It just gives me all the control I need. Chris steals the plumber's big bottles of cyano from work and the massive bottles of the Farset PVA from the joiners.
Nice. I think me and you need a chat, Chris.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Not stealing, it's borrowing, not returning.
No interest leasing. So I'm just going to blue tack those two parts together, like so. It gives us a way to work to be honest with you, I'm kind of going a bit overboard with putting him together. To be fair, I'm definitely taking my time with him, making sure that I've got everything exactly as best as I can do it. See, I'm making a big thing about doing it the best I can do it. I'm kind of setting myself up here, because if this looks rubbish by the time I'm done, Chris is taking orders now.
Good boy, Chris.
I was having a look online actually at one point. I couldn't find massive bottles of liquid superglue anywhere. Large amounts of cyanoacrylate, where you can just buy it in a big tub. I mean, if you were doing a board, I mean, you can use PVA, which is easy enough. But one of the tabletop minions is renowned. I think he loves using super glue and baking powder to create sand. He in his opinion, when you use actual sand on a miniature's base, the sand is out of scale, so it doesn't look like sand.
I'm not a basing expert, but you can look at various people miniatures, like you just said, regardless of their workshop minions or anybody else, and go, looks too big.
Yeah, but so what he likes to do is he likes using the old baking soda and super glue trick to create a texture which looks like sand, which is into scale for the miniature. But if you were to kind of do your own board, you'd probably need to do that with massive amounts of super glue. And so I was looking for
as well.
Yeah, and I was looking for super glue and I couldn't find any. Not in large amounts. But maybe it's one of those things you're not really allowed to buy it unless you're a tradesman.
I was thinking you probably can't. So obviously all the various people go, it's not good. Idiots.
I can just imagine the fumes that would come off of one of those if you spilt it.
Oh yeah, great stuff. Clean your sinuses out, pretty stuff.
Well, it'll probably glue your eyes shut as well.
Yeah.
Right.
What, 60ml bottle?
60ml bottle, Jesus.
What big? Yeah. Because normally the ones you buy, you can go into any hardware store or DIY shop and buy. Oh, these mil are stupid.
Yeah, I mean this is 3 grams. So.
Yeah, it's probably gross right including the weight of the bottle. Regardless of content.
I haven't thought about that. I've never actually weighed the bottle.
Just 3 grams. I bet you're not. I bet it's not 3 grams of sleep, but probably 3 grams of total weight.
Yeah.
Chris, you're a very lucky boy. You didn't get 60ml bottles. And who's your drug dealer? I'm kidding, Chris. Not what you know, it's who you know.
This is a really tiny head.
Yeah. I mean, I've only got 1 or 2 fine cast mixers, but to me they look like they're just slightly too small workshop scale, even though they're workshop made.
Yeah, they are a little bit. Fine cast are smaller. I mean, the Gabriel stuff that I did the other week, or the last project, He is quite small.
I mean, I understand obviously you put the original human, obviously most of the ones I've seen are big space ones, which are obviously bigger anyway, but still the scale just doesn't look right for me. It just looks too short and skinny.
I'll go and grab, now that we've got this guy kind of half built, I could go and have a look at Gabriel Seth actually and see how they compare.
I'll wait for the 30 seconds through.
I need to go grab him anyway.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, so obviously what that's grab.
Cheddar Monkey just dropped his latest meme.
What do you mean, Cheddar Monkey? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there we go. Look, side by side. Which, no, not yet. Almost. But there we go. It's almost identical in size. So, Finecast. I mean, they are. I mean, if I put them side by side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Right, so what we got now? We got his other arm to do. Which hopefully won't have a hole in this one. Seth is an older model, that is true. And with various scale increases over time.
Right. Right, let's scoot off Discord because I'm going to start cooking up lots of words, but I'll still watch the live feed and comment, right?
Yeah, no worries, Wayne. Well, thank you for jumping on.
No worries, as always. We should do it every time I can. Catch you later, mate.
All right. Am I doing a Flesh Terrorist kill team? No, I'm not planning on it. My Space Marine kill team are Blood Angels, which I might restart. I might do them again. My Space Marine kill team is kind of just basically made of models that I had lying around and whatever weapon options they happen to have. I might. I think with the joy of doing the kill team, I will eventually, custom build each model to how I want them to be. But for now, I was just using the models that I had available. I might even consider making ironically making a kill team of various chapters. Considering, unless of course they add chapter specific rules to kill team, which doesn't look like they're going to be doing anytime soon. I might just do some research and make a kill team with guys from different chapters, depending on what their role is on the battlefield. I think that would look quite interesting. Give me the opportunity to do paint lots of different chapters. Boo, Blood Angels. So I might do some close combat guys and have them as Blood Angels or Space Wars. Have some I don't know, maybe heavy bolter guy or something. I don't know, some iron hands maybe, if I get some bionic pieces, and just various mix and match. of slots into there. Have we got any mold lines on there? I don't think we have. White scars would be difficult, yeah. I don't know if I don't know. I was saying earlier on in the show, I'm not particularly good on fluff, to be fair. But I mean, I know that white scars are renowned for their bikers. But surely it's not the only thing that they are known for. I mean, do they not have other skills, you know, in general, or is it literally just bikers and that's pretty much all their claim to fame is? Yeah, your kill teams combined is Captain Planet. I mean, Deathwatch. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can get a Deathwatch kill team. I know, and that's. I plan on doing one of those eventually one day as well. But I just wondered, it would be kind of cool just to rather than just having, because I mean, the Space Marines section of kill team is all kind of. You know, they're all bland and they don't have any special rules. Whereas the Deathwatch have their own special rules as well, so we might mix and match some regular guys and come up with some fluff as to why various chapter guys have come together. And White Skies do have other things you were just funning. Yeah, it's fair enough. I don't know much about the fluff to be able to come up with a White Skies model per se. I mean, obviously, I'd be able to get the look for a White Skies model. You know, you just very Mongolian kind of aesthetic, of course. But you know, choosing who to actually paint as the White Scars guy, I'd have to do a bit of research to kind of figure that one out. But the idea would be perhaps that, you know, at a glance you'd be able to say, oh, I can see what that is all about. And then, you know, there's a little bit of headcanon to go along with it as to why, you know, the various chapters had kind of decided to create their own kill team. You know, in the similar vein of the Deathwatch, of course. You know, because I mean, that's essentially what the Deathwatch is, but I think it would be kind of cool. Now, I don't remember seeing a base. I've just realised I don't remember seeing a base when I opened this box. Oh yes, there it is. That would have been funny. Would be like the Expendables of the Imperium. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah. You know, they come together and, you know, they're just here to wreck some enemy's butt. But not just, I mean, obviously the Deathwatch is specifically, or more importantly, aimed at fighting Xeno threat, isn't it? Whereas I think the, yeah, a bit of headcanon would be that, you know, these guys, maybe they got separated from their respective chapters over some time ago, and generally they're just flying through the galaxy together, picking up the odd Space Marine that also happens to be stranded or whatever, all trying to fight their way home or something like that. I don't know. I'd probably build a story up eventually over time. Alright. So this then gets put onto the base. Like How does he go on here? Like that? Right. It's a good movie plot there. But I think it's already been done. Maybe not in a Space Marine movie, but... Right. And then we just spread some of this around the base there. Go. Now the Inquisition base that he has there does not cover the entirety of the base. 40, if you're watching Mr. Spielberg, 40k Band of Brothers. Right, where's my basing materials? Let's have a look. I've got some sand down here. And I tell you what, I do have some liquid super glue knocking around here somewhere. I must do. He says, but I really don't. Right. So I'm going to have to do it this way. Add in some glue to the model. Down here, just throw that down there. Wait, there's a bit of a lump, but that's not too bad actually, because kind of the base does rise up quite a chunk. That's why I like this Perfect Pen super glue. I can be really precise with it. Of course, liquid super glue would be a much better material than what I'm trying to do here. There we are. And what I was saying about tabletop minions not like using sand because it doesn't look right, but I'm not using this to make it look like sand, which is good. I just want it to look kind of rubbly, and there we are. What I like about using super glue, when you start adding things like this, it does pretty much instantly set quite quickly, so you can just rub off around the outside. And there we are. I almost blew the model with the sand in the way. And grab myself this big brush, get rid of the sand on here. Using an old brush, of course, just in case I do catch any of the Right, you're off to eat your Valentine's dinner. Doubt you'll still be here when I get back, to catch you later. Yeah, I'm almost finished this stream. Thank you for joining me, Wayne. We've almost finished this one because I can't really do, I'm not doing any priming or anything of this model. So there we go. You tend to use a mix of sand, bicarb, and chick grit. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do the whole base, but what I would do is use just a little bit of sand just to add some texture from the base, just so that it's not just plain plastic. I don't really need to do that. That Inquisitor logo base does cover most of it. I just wanted to make sure I got right to the edge there with a little bit of texture. I think I'm probably going to get away with the cape. You know, when I was dry fitting it, I was a bit worried about the gap between his chest here and the side of his coat. I think I'm going to get away with that now that I look at it there. But of course I do have the ability now to remove that, so they can be painted separately, and of course glue those together as quickly as I can between from the one show to the next. As soon as that cape is done on the inside and the inside of the outside cape is done, then they'll get glued together. There we go. Eisehorn, all finished, built, and it's 8:10, which means it is pretty much the end of the show now. Let's bring that back into focus there, and come over to this here. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this one. So yeah, Eisehorn is the next Thursday night project. Don't forget, of course, as always, send in suggestions for future projects. I'm always thinking about the next project, because depending on how quickly I get this guy done, depends on how quickly the next project is going to happen. So I'm always thinking about the next one, and and I need to get that ordered. My Patreons help me decide what that will be. There'll be a discussion in a few weeks' time, I reckon, about just exactly what the next project's going to be. But any viewers have the ability to throw up their suggestions, send it to any of my social media, which you will find in the chat. In there. So feel free to send me your suggestions. I love to hear them. And as always, I will be back on Monday for the Conquest show, where you will be able to see me open up the next content, the next magazine, which I believe is issue number 19, which is Lord Feltius and his cohorts of whatever it is. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But I will be starting that show at a later time than usual. I'm going to be starting it at 7 o'clock, which is UK time, of course. I'm actually changing that on my screen now so that when it pops up later on, it's correct. So yeah, I would start that at 7 o'clock. I think it's better to. I'm going to start my shows a little bit later. So yeah. Other than that, I think there's not really much else to say. I am going to be doing my Ask Me Anything video during the week, so come and check back on Friday next week, where I'll premiere that. So I will be in the chat while I'm premiering my hobby update and Ask Me Anything, so come along and join that. Other than that, I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you very much to Steve, Reese, Chris, Cheddar Monkey, and also Wayne. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure having you along, and I'll be back on Monday. And I'll say thank you all for watching this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright, ta-ra.